The red pill movement didn't invent its ideas. Carl Jung did, 70 years earlier. And Jung never intended them to go where they went. If you spend any time in red pill spaces, you'll hear certain words over and over. Shadow work, archetypes, the persona, waking up. These aren't red pill terms. They're Jungian psychology, and most of the people using them have never read a single page of Jung. So today, no agenda, no debate. Let's just look at where the overlap actually is and where it falls apart. Jung said every person wears a mask. He called it the persona, the version of yourself you perform for the world. The agreeable one, the successful one, the one people approve of. The problem, Jung said, is when you forget it's a mask. When the performance becomes your entire identity. Red pill philosophy latches onto this. The blue pill man, in their framework, is someone living entirely inside his persona. People-pleasing, conflict-avoidant, performing niceness to get approval. That part. Directly Jungian. Jung would recognize the diagnosis. Where it diverges is the prescription, but we'll get there. The shadow is the part of you that you've buried. Not evil, necessarily. Just rejected. The anger you were told not to feel. The ambition you were shamed for. The desires you learned to hide. Jung said the shadow doesn't disappear when you suppress it. It goes underground and starts running your life from below the surface. Red pill culture talks about shadow work constantly. The idea that modern men have suppressed their aggression, dominance, and competitive drive, and that this suppression is making them weak. That framing is Jungian. Jung wrote explicitly that a man who denies his aggression doesn't become peaceful. He becomes passive-aggressive, resentful, or chronically anxious. Integrating the shadow, owning what you've rejected, is foundational to Jungian psychology. This is where it gets more complicated. Jung identified something he called the Anima, an inner feminine dimension present in every man's psyche, not a metaphor. Jung believed this was a structural part of the male unconscious, carrying qualities like emotion, intuition, and relational depth. A man unconscious of his anima, Jung said, gets possessed by it, becoming moody, irrational, or emotionally reactive without knowing why. Red pill spaces often interpret this differently. They frame the suppression of feminine qualities as strength and their expression as weakness. Jung would say the opposite. Ignoring the anima doesn't make a man more masculine, it makes him more controlled by it. This is the clearest point where red pill borrows Jung's vocabulary and then uses it to argue against Jung's actual conclusion. Jung's entire life project was something he called individuation, the process of becoming a whole, integrated person. Not half a person who performs strength, not someone who suppresses half their inner world, a person who has consciously faced their shadow, integrated their anima, dropped the persona. Red pill philosophy shares the starting point. Something is wrong. You need to wake up. The life you were living wasn't real. What it often skips is the rest of the journey. Jung predicted a lot about modern men. The over-reliance on persona, the buried shadow, the unconscious anima. He just didn't think the solution was to go further into one half of yourself. He thought it was to stop running from the other half.